Hurricane Matthew is making its way towards the Caribbean islands. We'll have more on that later on in the show.
We've also got all your weather information needed for planning your week.
And of course, what's the best way to figure out the forecast to check it out?
We're here on campus asking you how you get your weather.
We've got a great report coming up on that.
Live from Studio 8D, bringing you all your weather info. This is FSU Weather at 6 o'clock.
Welcome to our first October show of the year. I'm student meteorologist Jay Karstens.
And I'm student meteorologist Margaret Hollis.
A hot and cloudy day here around the capital city. Saw those temperatures getting up into the upper 80s. Thankfully, like I was just saying, a little bit more cloud cover.
We didn't break 90 though.
I'll take that much, and of course, that shade, unlike baking out in the sun during that football game back on Saturday, of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The upper 80s with clouds, I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. I'm just glad we're not breaking 90 this time.
An exciting and eventful show on the way for you now. We're going to get things started right now. Here's Lexi at the wall.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys did have a beautiful weekend, all that sunshine and nice low temperatures. I know I sure did, but currently right now it is 88 in Tallahassee, mostly cloudy skies. The dew point has gone back up to 68. It's starting to feel more humid once again, humidity sitting at 52%, but we do have a nice wind coming from the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Here's our Doppler radar. So far looking almost pretty quiet around the Big Bend region, but look at Taylor County. They are currently seeing some storms moving into the area, but most of these storms are basically staying along the East Coast, and even Tampa could be seeing some storms later on as well. So for tonight, it'll be 68 degrees, only 20% chance of rain. It'll be a very nice night, maybe a possible shower for tonight, so if you do go out, maybe bring a rain jacket or an umbrella. You may need it, but there'll be a nice wind coming out of the east at 5 miles per hour, so it really looks like a really nice night, so just go out and enjoy yourself. Some weather headlines we're looking at, definitely another nice night. Go out and enjoy yourself. It'll be warm and humid coming this week. The clouds will be back. The humidity will start to rise once again, so unfortunately we have to wait a little bit longer for those nice temperatures to come back, but good news, the weekend is looking very beautiful. But for now, let's send it back to Jake at the desk.
Thanks a lot, Lexi. Hurricane Matthew being one of the big stories of this show. We wanted to start things off here with the WeatherStem camera feed that we had from the University of Miami earlier in the day. Pretty nice day around there. We had an interesting, once you see the sun start to come up, you're going to see a really interesting pattern where the upper level and the lower level winds seem to sort of diverge in a sense, and that's why you really didn't have much storm production. However, as Hurricane Matthew makes its approach, we're looking at a potential strengthening of the Bermuda High off over the open Atlantic. So what this could cause here is a potential steering of this storm off towards the west. In other words, our friends in South and Central Florida, keep an eye on the storm as the forecast has shifted ever so slightly to the west, and we could see a bit of a continuing trend with that as this trough that was supposed to move into our region. There's that flow from I was describing earlier. As that trough that's supposed to move into our region is looking to start to weaken and maybe lift off towards the north. So again, we'll have more on that later on in the show. For now, I'm going to send it back out to the wall where Margaret has a local look of things.
Thanks, Jake. We're going to start off with a photo from here in Tallahassee, now looking at the sky. This was taken by one of our viewers from the steps of the Love Building, looking out over campus and towards downtown. We see some pretty nice clear blue skies, so layer of some clouds, alto cumulus clouds, those ones that sort of look like you've got a big field, that they're across our sky, so they're nice to look at throughout the day. Currently here in Tallahassee, 88 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. That dew point is starting to creep back up after that cold front from last week. That's cleared out, and now we're going to see those dew points start to creep back up a little bit. So the humidity is on the rise. We're going to have more about that a little bit later. Current temperatures across the rest of the Big Bend, 70 in Perry. They're getting a couple showers there. 83 in Valdosta, 85 in Monticello, mid to upper 80s across most of the area, getting down into the lower 80s on the coast. Our satellite and radar, we do see a couple spotted showers, including those ones there in Perry that are driving the temperature down just a little bit. Clouds across the entire Big Bend spotted throughout, depending on where you are. Not too bad overall, though. Tomorrow, if you're looking at getting out on the water, sailing, winds will be coming out of the northeast at 10 knots, waves 2 to 3 feet. You do have a slight chance of a shower, so be aware of that. And again, the light chop there. So if you're not experienced, definitely take it careful out there. Now, if you're just looking to go out to the beach, winds out of the northeast 10 to 15 miles an hour. Great for flying kites. Surf 2 to 3 feet. So if you do like to go out surfing, you might have a bit of a chance of that tomorrow. And watch out on that UV index too. On the coast, we're looking at a UV index of about 8, which corresponds to these redder colors up here, and that's a little bit high. It's a very high risk of sunburn. As you go further inland, that risk lowers more towards these reddish orangish colors here, and those still have a high risk for sunburn. So if you're going to be outside for any extended lengths of time tomorrow, make sure that you have the sunscreen on. We're going to take a look at what these different values mean on the UV index. A 6 and a 7 is a high risk. 8 to a 10, which is what we're seeing down at the coast, that is a very high risk. Any of these values from 6 on up, anything greater than 6, you want to have that sunscreen with you. Tonight we're looking at getting down to around 68 degrees. It's going to be a very nice night. There is a chance of a shower before 2 a.m., 20% chance here, but it's not going to be anything to ruin your night. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at 89 degrees. It's still going to be warm out tomorrow, and it's going to get a little bit more humid, but our 7-day forecast, look at that. We don't break 90 in the next 7 days. Fall is finally starting to creep its way here, but now I'm going to send it to the desk with Jake and Lexi.
All right, thank you so much, Margaret. Well, we all remember the 2005 hurricane season, and today, October 3rd, is the anniversary of Hurricane Stan bearing into Mexico.
And it was the day that Hurricane Stan achieved its hurricane status, kind of one of the forgotten hurricanes, if you want to consider that, considering it was so close to Rita and not too long after Katrina made making its landfall. Again, in early October here, the big threat with this storm as it made its way through the Yucatan into central Mexico was the mudslides associated with the rain in all those mountainous regions there.
I remember it pretty much hit 2 entire villages and just flattened them completely.
It was really not a pretty situation, and
No,
all those storms that hit Mexico, despite the strength, are that kind of threat. But here's our trivia question of the week. What are the narrow bands of strong winds which move around the world between about 6 and 12 miles high, those upper-level winds that kind of influence a lot of our cold weather later on in the year?
No, yeah, absolutely. But you can go ahead and later on after the show, go ahead and go onto our Twitter page and you can vote and you'll find out the answer for tomorrow.
Well, with that being said, it's my turn now. I'm going to go out to the wall here. We have a look around Florida. That frontal system that's made its way through our area earlier on in the week here is causing a lot of rainfall in the central part of the state. We look at the current conditions here around the Sunshine State, 81 degrees in Orlando. They're looking out so far. They got some sunny skies, but a lot of rain in other areas like Tampa, Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, down into Fort Lauderdale as well. Here's the satellite and radar look to show you just that. This frontal system stalled out across the center of the state, and on both sides of this, we have plenty of cloud cover and plenty of rainfall. There's that radar for you. Most of the rainfall south of Orlando and in between Tampa and Fort Myers, areas like Sarasota, Bradenton getting in on some of that fun, as well as over Lake Okeechobee right now, which they're actually concerned about some high water levels over there, so we hope that rainfall subsides. With that being said, the soil moisture across the middle of the state has been fairly dry. We're looking at a pretty mild drought situation across plenty of the non-coastal areas of the state, running down the I-75 and Turnpike corridors, as well as west of Lake Okeechobee. Along the coasts, moisture is looking just fine, although we would like to see a little bit less rain in areas like that. Those dew points aren't necessarily helping us in that regard. 76 degrees in Tampa, 75 in Miami. Still muggy across much of the state. North Florida's getting a little bit of relief, of course. 58-degree dew point right now in Pensacola, 68 here in Tallahassee. And again, with those 70s, you feel a lot of that discomfort. Areas in the 70 to 79-degree range, we of course call that oppressive. Not exactly a fun situation to even breathe out there, much less do any kind of physical activity. Here's your upper-level water vapor look, again showing you how the stationary front has really made it a soggy kind of last couple of days for much of the state here. Orlando and Tampa, of course, areas just off to the south. A lot of where you see these really dark greens is where much of that rainfall is. A lot of fuel at the upper levels to really get that big-time convection going on there for you. With that being said, the current winds are also influencing a little bit of a sea breeze pattern in some of the coastal areas. Miami with a 12-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast right now. Tampa coming out of the west, pushing some storms in along that way. And what you see here is a lot of these winds coming out of the east and out of the west, kind of these conflict of interests of sorts. That's really the sign that a stationary front is impacting the area. Here's the sea surface temperature, something we haven't really used in a long time around here. And even though we are in October, the waters are still cooking out there. You see 85 degrees off in the middle of the Gulf here, even 83, not too far from the Tallahassee area. So that's why Hurricane Matthew has been able to sustain itself for as long as it has. Around the rest of the state, though, however, tonight we're looking at another warm night across the southern half of the state. 79 degrees in West Palm Beach, 78 in Miami, 79 degrees in Key West. And tomorrow, the rain threat sticks around for much of the central and southern parts of the state, 89 degrees with thunderstorms in West Palm Beach. Across the Panhandle, moving over towards Pensacola, looking like a really good situation out there. So at least we got that to look forward to. Now back to the desk with Matt and Lexi.
Jake, thank you so much. Glad things are looking pretty good around the Panhandle, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. They're starting to see a little sunshine themselves.
Absolutely, something we need around here. We do have a couple of events going on around campus. Let's go through and give you a quick forecast outlook for each and every one of them.
So, for tomorrow night, there will be an open mic night at the SLC. It's at the Student Life Center from 8 to 10 p.m. So if you don't have anything to do, go out and,
Yeah,
will you be there?
I'm going to be hightailing it over there right after the Tuesday show tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good night for it.
Yeah,
temperatures in the mid-80s, just a couple clouds in the sky.
Yeah, fun event. Now, come early Friday morning, we have the FSU cross-country team who will have their open invitational, which is at home, starting at 7:40. So if you're an early bird and you want to go see our cross-country runners go out and run, it'll be beautiful. It'll be 73 degrees. It'll be a good day to go see you, compete.
Absolutely. Sunny skies for that, looking good. It's a little earlier than I usually get up.
Yeah, it's definitely. We also have our FSU softball. It seems like they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe we're going to be playing West Florida. That's a home game taking place at 1 p.m. And you can just expect a beautiful day for that. Sunny skies, temperatures at 89 degrees, just below that 90-degree mark.
Now, here's what I really want to talk about. Swim and dive against Duke in Minnesota. Now, I used to be a swimmer.
Oh, yeah?
So I might head out myself and go see them swim.
Yeah, just jump in the pool. Help them on out.
Yeah, I'll jump right in. I would be really happy to jump right in. Water is my element.
And I believe that is 2 p.m. on Saturday?
2 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, that's probably indoors, so not
Yep.
much you got to worry about with the weather. Not that it's going to be a bad day at all.
Right. Oh, and come Saturday also, right before right around, if you don't want to see that Miami game, we do have Star Trek trivia.
Oh, yeah? Are you a Kirk fan or a Picard fan? What would you say you are?
I can't really say. I've never seen Picard, so
Wow.
I don't want to side with Kirk, not without getting to know
Yeah, got to give
Picard.
Jean-Luc his fair share. I
Of
get
course,
that. Yeah.
yes.
Alrighty, well, right now we are going to take it back out to Jake. He's got another look around the Big Bend. Jake, what do you got for us?
Unfortunately, a little bit of rainfall, guys. Actually, if I step out of the way, you'll see some of that mostly off to our east. You see some isolated thunderstorms pushing in through Taylor County, especially Perry getting in on a little bit of that fun. You saw their temperature down at 70 degrees just a little while ago. So currently around here, looking pretty good. 88 degrees right now under mostly cloudy skies. Dew point at 68, a little bit higher than what we've seen over that excessively dry weekend we had around town. Winds are out of the north-northwest at about 6 miles per hour right now. The temperature spread across the area. Again, where that rainfall has been happening is where you see the oranges. 70 degrees right now in Perry. Otherwise, 80s across the board with the high spots being particularly off towards the west. Bainbridge and Mariana sitting at 88 degrees right now. We're going to forecast those rainfall totals for you right now. I'm actually going to step this way because a lot of what we're going to be seeing is off towards our east. We set this into motion for tonight. Heading into tomorrow morning, Thomasville and Valdosta could see some rainfall, of course, tonight. But a lot of that's going to be out of our area. Along the I-75 corridor, we get towards Lake City going southward is where plenty of that's going to be going on. Again, that stationary front draped across much of the state going to be giving them a little bit of a hard time. But for us, we're looking at a fairly dry next couple of days, although an isolated to scattered thunderstorm is, of course, possible. Here's the air quality view for you. Another one we haven't really used in a while around here. Again, looking like an okay day to be outside. Not exactly the best day. We're not seeing many of these greens except for areas along the coast, but pollen is going to be a bit of a threat here as we go later on in the week, particularly on Wednesday. We see that 9.1 pollen index for our area there. Not looking like the best day if you have any allergy concerns out there. Here's your evening planner for you. At 7 o'clock, still going to be hot out there, 88 degrees, what we're seeing right now, mostly cloudy or partly cloudy conditions. Hanging around, staying partly cloudy as we get past the sunset time. 80 degrees at 10 o'clock, and then once we hit midnight, cooling down fairly rapidly. We'll be getting down into the upper 60s tonight. Partly cloudy skies sticking around. Although we cannot rule out the possibility of a stray shower before 2 in the morning here. Mostly looking like a dry night ahead, though, with easterly winds coming at about 5 miles per hour. Again, 68 degrees, what we're going to be calling for. on that low temperature. And here is tomorrow's outlook, 89 degrees for a high. Again, a 20% chance of a stray shower or storm, particularly in the afternoon hours. Still warm, and humidity is going to be on the rise here. So again, a little bit of an uncomfortable factor, and again, the pollen going to be a bit of a concern for you for those allergies. Otherwise, looking like an okay day, and an okay next 5 days ahead, particularly Wednesday. We're seeing mostly sunny skies, a high of 87 degrees. Thursday, the clouds begin to work their way back in, sitting at 85 degrees, that low of 68. And then Friday, partly cloudy skies, high of 86 degrees. We're going to be seeing Friday night, however, those lows beginning to dip back down, 65 degrees for your morning low on Saturday. And we'll have your 7-day a little bit later on in the show, where you're going to see the 50s try to make their way back into the area. So something to look forward to for all of you out there. For now, it's Hurricane Matthew time with Matthew himself.
Jake, thank you so much. As you mentioned, Hurricane Matthew, we've got a quick tropical update for you. Take a look at all the storms that has happened to come through the Atlantic Basin in this 2016 hurricane season. You've got Hermine down there, was a Category 1. We're through Carl, we're through Lisa, and we're all the way up to Hurricane Matthew right now. This storm rapidly intensified from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane in just a matter of days. Really an exciting storm for meteorologists, weather geeks like us, but not great news for the people that are in its path. Take a look. You can hardly see the island of Hispaniola right here. It's entirely covered by those clouds, getting drenched with some of the outer bands of this hurricane. Jamaica over here too. You'll see this hurricane starts to make its way north. Previously it had been moving just about clear west through the Caribbean Sea, through that basin. It's already killed 4 people, 1 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 1 down in Colombia, and 2 already off the coast of Haiti prior to landfall. Take a look at hurricane climatology. In the month of October, you start to see activity tapering off. Some of the most frequent tracks of hurricanes come up through here, through South Florida. We're not seeing that particular track with this storm. It's further south in the Caribbean, coming north through here. It could look to track along the eastern seaboard of the United States, but that's still pretty far out. Take a look at the current forecast cone, and you see all these areas in red under a hurricane watch. An extremely serious situation. Right now, this storm is a Category 4 hurricane. It's got sustained winds of 120 miles an hour, and you can expect heavy storm surge. We're talking over 10 feet storm surges all through the areas marked in red. Jamaica lucked out a little bit as this track moved westward in recent forecast advisories. But Haiti, let's take a closer look at Haiti. This topographical map of the country. The hurricane is currently to the south, further south and west of this area. Take a look. Those areas in brown, higher elevations. A lot of the rain is going to get squeezed out as those clouds move over it, and we're looking at a lot of rain, potentially up to 40 inches in some localized areas. A very serious situation. Right now, let's take it back to the desk. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to take it over to the southeast. Margaret's got a closer look around the region.
All right, so thank you so much, Margaret. Well, we do know that today is the whole month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so Leon County is partnering up with some local communities for what they call Paint the Town Pink. So there's going to, starting Wednesday, October 5th, there will be a little event called, Drink Pink for a Good Cause. So out in front of Leon County Main Library from 11:30 to 1:30 on Wednesday. They will be selling pink lemonade, but let's send it back to the wall with Margaret.
Thanks, Lexi. Currently across the southeast, we got 88 degrees here in Tallahassee. We are looking at similar conditions across most of the southeast. 87 degrees under cloudy skies in Miami. We're getting up to 89 degrees in Montgomery. Temperatures do vary a bit, though. We do have that 77 degrees in Wilmington, but overall across the southeast, we're looking at mid-80s with sunny to partly cloudy skies, but we're not seeing any major rain across the entire southeast. Those heat indices, though, we are looking at higher temperatures for that. 93 is our heat index here in Tallahassee. It still feels icky here because of that humidity and all of the sun that we're seeing. Tomorrow across the entire southeast, check out this color bar here that explains roughly how high the UV index is. We are looking at those mid-range values with all the reds and oranges, especially as you get down in the Florida Peninsula and we start seeing a little bit of pink down here. Those areas have very high UV indices, and we want to keep an eye out for wearing sunscreen if you're out in the sun. Currently, though, we do have a radar that we're looking at. We do have clouds and rain across most of the Florida Peninsula and spotted areas. So those do help a little bit with the UV index. You don't have quite as much of an impact there because the clouds do provide some protection. Those storms flaring up in part because of the sea breezes. We are getting wind off the Atlantic Ocean in Miami and Orlando coming in across the Florida Peninsula. The rest of the southeast, mostly light winds and nothing too much to worry about. And as we're looking into the next couple of months, a seasonal outlook, these areas in brown here are in an existing drought, and it's expected that it could become worse, and the areas in yellow could see a drought develop over the next couple of months as we move into the winter. Tonight across the southeast, cooling down into the mid-upper 50s, low 60s as we move further south, and even in the 70s down towards Miami and Key West. And tomorrow, it's going to warm up back towards 90, but for now we're going to send it back to the desk with Lexi.
All right, thank you so much, Margaret. Well, as I said before, starting Wednesday from 11:30 to 1:30 in front of the Leon County Main Library, they will be selling pink lemonade for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all those proceeds will go to the Breast Cancer Society and for donations and stuff. But also, the Leon County Courthouse will be illuminating their building with pink lights in honor of Breast Cancer Month. I think that takes place tomorrow night. But, there's going to be a whole lot of events going around in Tallahassee, so go ahead, look up all these events. I know there's going to be many 5Ks and walks and just a lot of fun events that you can attend. But for now, we have a special report with Brooke on what kinds of weather apps people use around campus.
Weather impacts all of our daily lives. But for students walking to and from class every day, it's especially important to know what the weather is going to be like. A large variety of weather sources are used by the Knolls in our community.
Yeah, WeatherBug shows you where all the clouds and everything's coming through.
I do listen to the morning radio stations.
I usually look it up on an app. I usually do Weather Channel, or now I'm really big into Zoom.
However, we found the most popular way people get their weather data was from the Apple Weather app, the standard app that comes on the iPhone. Ryan Mays says the Apple app is convenient and easy for him to use.
What I like about it is it just shows me what I need to know. I don't really need to know the precipitation or whatever. I just want to see what it is outside. If it's 75, dope. If it's 95, then I don't really want to go outside. That's pretty much all I'm looking for.
Though no matter what you use to get your weather information, the important thing is that you're continually checking it and staying informed. I'm Brooke Marshall with 4FSU Weather. Back to you guys in the studio.
Oh, well, thanks a lot for that special report, Brooke. We had the traffic cam for you, the Manic Monday traffic cam, and it's looking like another congested Monday night out there on the roads.
But really, just another Manic Monday, huh?
Of course, of course. A lot of the traffic being on the major roads you'd expect. Monroe Street, Tennessee Street in particular, they know how much of a pain that can be. Stadium Drive getting in a little bit of that fun, too. Wherever you see those reds, traffic looking pretty backed up, so you might want to try to find some alternate routes.
Take a look, gets a little better. Things shift from red to green as you go past the scenically located FSU Weather Studios.
Absolutely. Of course, you go further east, looking fantastic. Right now, we have one more local for you. We got Margaret Lexi actually out at the wall. What's going on, Lexi?
All right, thanks so much, guys. Well, currently right now in Tallahassee, it is 88 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. That dew point has come back up from the low dew points we saw this past weekend. It's starting to feel a little more humid out there. Humidity sitting at 52%. But we do have a nice wind coming out of the north-northwest at 6 miles per hour. So it was the radar was quiet earlier today, but as the evening continued, Perry and Taylor County started to see some showers, and their temperature has dropped because of those storms that have moved into the possible area. But for right now, if you love golf as much as Matt Reagan and Jake Carson's, it'll be a beautiful day for golf. Cloudy skies, there may be a chance of rain, but if you want to hit the course early, get out there, enjoy yourselves. You'll even have a nice wind coming west to southwest at 5 miles per hour, so it's looking very beautiful. So here's our futurecast winds and temperatures. Starting for tonight, the temperatures will drop and winds will be coming out of the northeast, but the winds will possibly be staying coming out of the northeast. By Tuesday at 10 a.m., the temperatures will pretty much stay the same as well, but Thursday comes around, those dark temperatures will start to pick up once again, but the winds will pretty much stay the same. So they're just keep coming out of the northeast, and we'll just keep enduring the temperatures as well, just staying in the upper 80s and low 60s as well. So for tonight, it will be 68 degrees, looking like a nice night, but we do have only a 20% chance of rain, maybe a few clouds in the skies, so maybe take out a rain jacket or umbrella before you head out the door today. But the wind also coming out of the east at 5 miles per hour. Well, tomorrow it will be hot once again, 89 degrees, only 20% chance of rain. It will be warm, but the humidity will start to pick up once again, and you will have a moderate wind coming southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we are starting to see those hot temperatures once again, but we are staying in under 90, so that's pretty good. So for Tuesday's highs, 86 in St. Mark's, 86 in Carabel. Again, it will start to be more humid, only 20% chance of rain, and the nice breeze as well, but Thomasville seeing 91, but overall Big Bend region pretty much staying in those upper 80s. So for Tuesday, it is going to be very hot, so wear t-shirt and shorts. Maybe if you're feeling it, wear a tank top as well. Wednesday, it's going to be a little more great. Definitely wear those sunglasses. The sun will be shining brightly. And Thursday will start to feel more pleasant, so go out, wear some flip-flops or maybe some sandals, whatever you're feeling that day. So our 7-day forecast, the highs will be staying in the upper 80s, lows in the upper 60s. Not really too much rain chances going on so far, maybe a few clouds in the sky, but Saturday looking like our most beautiful day. But let's go ahead and send it back to the desk with Jake and Matt.
Lexi, thank you so much. Again, really looking forward to the rest of this week. Saturday especially, it looks like it's going to be a great day, huh?
To quote an old friend Shane here, who just actually had on the show on Friday, 7 days and 7 suns in the forecast. I'm looking forward to it. You see those 20% chances up there a couple of times during the week. There's our little double box right now. Yeah. Tomorrow, 20% chance of rain. Also extending about 6 and 7 days out there. You're going to see those highs staying in the upper 80s, staying just a little bit above average. But like I said on Local 2 there, you see that 59 Monday? We got a shot. We got another shot of the cold front coming through. A little bit far out in the future to forecast, definitively for now, but something to look forward to, of course, potentially for the start of next week. It's homecoming week is around the corner.
Oh yeah, really excited for that. And again, once it does drop below 60 degrees, all you Miami people, get your parkas out.
Oh yeah, trust me, I live down there now, and that is an epidemic.
Yeah, you get used to it, you know. You get used to like not having to deal with stuff like that, but when it comes back down, when that temperature gets down, you know.
Just you wait for when the average low gets down in those 30s. But for now, remember the trivia question. You can check out the poll on Twitter. What are the narrow bands of strong winds called, which move around the world between about 6 and 12 miles high?
Wow, and that is some classy font right there. I'm proud to read off that, aren't you?
Absolutely, and of course, like we were saying earlier, that's a big deal. Once we get later on in the year, bringing a lot of those cold temperatures our way. Once this pattern, not going to say it, of course, starts to dip its way down, we'll have the answer to that on your show tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be up on social media. We're posting it as a poll, so you can check us out just about each and every way on the internet. Try Facebook.com/FSU Weather. Try Twitter.com/FSU Weather. And Jake, you know this last one, don't you?
Absolutely. We're also anytime on Livestream.com/FSU Weather, and you know me well. Do not forget to give the Instagram some love. They deserve it too. We love your weather pictures, anything you have to throw our way.
Absolutely. We're more than happy to throw them up on the show. Always need some good viewer photos. We always need a good little glitchy still frame of a mouse pointer right there, don't we?
No problem at all with that, right? So for all of us here at FSU Weather, another hot week ahead. We apologize. We didn't cause it. But I'm student meteorologist Jay Karstens.
I'm student meteorologist Matt Mackey. Thank you so much for checking in with us.
We'll see you again tomorrow night.